Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Get your mic.
Mike.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you got this right here. I was coming to you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
No, hold on. I'm gonna let you finish, all right? How are you guys feeling out here? How are you guys feeling? Feeling good! Can you guys give another hand for Mr. and Mrs. Martin? So I'm gonna ask you guys again. How are you guys feeling? Feeling good!
Sorry, I'm gonna get right.
So, for those of you guys that don't know me, I'm one of Sid's best friends from high school. There's a lot of things that change as you grow older and get into adulthood. When we were younger, though, there's certain things that you end up keeping with you as you end up continuing on, I guess. What I'd say for Sid is passion. So when it comes to passion, it could be passion for his family and friends, the love that he has, or it could be his passion for sports. In his case, when I was growing up with him, it would be basketball. He'd end up going every day out to play ball, every day. And he would tell me all the time that, all I need to do is, I just wish I ended up going to basketball camp. That's all that's holding me back. If I had that, I think I could make it to the NBA. And I was like, so dude, you're like, your stature's a little short, dude. And you tell me, Muggsy was kind of short. And I was like, hey, he's 5'3", you're not even that tall yet. So he didn't stop. He didn't quit. He kept going. And then literally a year later, he's like 2.5 feet taller. And I was like, man, was it because I egged him on and teased him? Like, he's just so passionate, his will wouldn't let it go. Yeah, that's still his passion. He was telling me he's going to go to the NBA. I just don't think it really happened that way. But you know what? He wanted to take that dream and move it forward out to Temple U, where he wanted to continue playing ball, but also consider the aspiration of getting into medicine as well. And that's where he met Varad.
All right. Hi, guys. My name is Varad. I've known Sid from our times at Temple U, starting in 2004. I think we met our sophomore year. Spoiler alert: Sid did not make it to the NBA. So we bonded over our joint tracks. We were both in the science field in biochemistry, biology, shooting for either some sort of a pharmaceutical or medical career. We also shared a lot of common interests in sports as well, like Jojo mentioned. Avid supporters of Philly sports, except for the Eagles, but nobody's perfect. It led us to actually find our way to St. Matthew's based on another mutual friend, Kabil. And again, to go off of what Jojo was saying, Sid is a very passionate person. He's also quite an analytical person. He was able to break down my strengths and weaknesses and help me out on a couple of occasions through difficult courses, some fairly bromantic moonlight conversations on the balcony after a couple of fairly difficult block exams on St. Matthew's. But then he was able to use that and become what I consider to be a very, very good psychiatrist, because he can give you the information you need in a way that isn't going to be insulting, etc. And that is what makes a psychiatrist worth going to. And I think that he's going to use that passion with Bree, because he's so laid back, and I think Bree is that personality as well, and I think you two are going to be absolutely perfect. And then I'm going to hand this over to Perry, one of our fellow TU graduates, who's going to take over from him.
Thank you, everybody. We having a good time?
Yes!
We gotta hear it a little bit louder now. Come on, we having a good time? Thank you, everybody. I'm so honored, Sid and Bree. Thank you really for allowing me to be part of this wonderful crowd of groomsmen. And folks, my name is Perry Mehta. My full name is Paritosh, but I go by Perry because everybody almost always butchers my name. And talking about names, Sid's full name is Siddhartha. And I don't know if many people know, the meaning of Siddhartha. It's a beautiful meaning. It's a form of Lord Shiva. And I don't know if there's any symbolism there, but I walked out there and there was a gobo on the floor of Lord Buddha. Did I see that? Was that something subtle, Uncle and Auntie, that we were supposed to pick up but we didn't catch? It's right there, too. It's amazing. So I'm going to talk about Sid as the friend that I've known through time. And, I remember very first time I met Sid was actually at CAP's dorm room. We were all 21 years old, of course. I had snuck in a bottle of Black Label right in my coat pocket, Imagine this guy, Indian guy, in the middle of sort of the end of summer, sneaking in this big coat, and I go up to his dorm room, and the security guards are just as intelligent as we are because nobody questioned. So I remember that first time I met Sid. He was sitting. I very clearly remember, Sid. You were sitting with. Is that Micah?
Yeah.
You were with Micah. And we started talking, and I think we had a very, very long conversation. And folks, let me tell you one thing that I absolutely, among many things I admire, I adore, and absolutely tell you that this is one huge characteristic which Sid has a lot of people, and I wish it's something I can imbibe in the future. And the fact is that Sid talks about ideas. A lot of people talk about people. 9 times out of 10, how many times you meet somebody and they talk about other people, but you know what? The conversation I had with Sid was about ideas. It was about how humanity, how philosophy, how psychiatry, how politics, and how all the things we can do as human beings to impact the world in a positive way. That's been his greatest characteristics. And you know what, Sid? That transpires into everything you do. How you do anything is how you do everything. And you know what? That's why you're such a wonderful friend. It is no coincidence that many of these folks in the Groomsmen, you were the best man. Is that just a coincidence? No. I take it's a repetitive aspect of who you are, what you do, and who you've become. And Bree, let me tell you, there's one thing I will absolutely tell you, that Sid is the guy, no matter what happens down the line in the future, he is always going to be there for you unconditionally. This is unconditional love this man shares in all his friendships, and I'm sure he shares the same in the relationship. So please welcome to the family. Thank you, everybody. And I really appreciate this honor. Let's have a great time! And I'm going to introduce Kat for the next thing.
Bro, you didn't think I was doing it. So, the groomsmen have a silent bet going right now. I just want the public to know. So, Sid, please help me out. Just shed a tear so I can get some money. My name's Kapil. Everyone calls me Cap. I met Sid before the beard. So he had a mustache when I first met him. And it was the best. And I met Sid, of all places at Temple University, we met in Hindi class. I clearly did not pay attention in that class because I was hanging out with this guy every single day when we were in class. And Sid, you have literally been a constant source of positivity in my life. And don't look at me because I'm going to cry. But I have spent so much time with you in all aspects of life. Like, I've spent time with you in Philly at Temple, in Cayman. We went to Toronto. Correct pronunciations. Toronto. We hit Florida up for Brad Patel's wedding. And that's awkward. And then we toured DC. Like, we tore it up. And honestly, I've had so many good memories. And like, sitting here thinking about this moment and making it something epic, right? There are too many, we have a Rolodex of good times. And, I'm thinking, okay, so should I talk about the Christmas rum ham? Or brie, by the way, rum ham. Or should I talk about Namaz with DMX at the concert? Because that happened. Or should I reflect on all the travels that we've had? And I wanted to build up a story and, really make it impactful to your character. Because your character is supreme. I've never met anyone like you, and I think that is exactly why freshman year we were like, oh, you're my brother. And I was thinking about this moment that happened probably sophomore year. when Indian Students Association at Temple held this charity basketball tournament. And I was adamant about not playing basketball. And you were adamant about me having you on, or me being on your team. And spoiler alert, I'm not athletic at all. So regardless of it, I ended up on your team. And I set it in my head, I set this precedent that I was going to be like, oh, I'm just going to distribute. And you and Micah scored all the baskets, right? And I just remember with that game plan, we ended up going really, really far in the tournament. We got to the semis, and there had to be like a minute left on the clock. And somehow, some way, divinity, fate, I don't know, I ended up with the ball. And it's a tie game with a minute left on the clock, and I'm at the three-point line. So what am I going to do, right? I took the shot. And I missed it horrendously. It wasn't even fun. It was like embarrassing, right? And I just remember, like, right afterwards, I was so defeated. I was so upset with myself. And, like, I felt like I let everyone down, right? And you were that gracious dude that came up to me and you held me by the shoulders, you looked me dead in the eye, and you were just like, bro, you're the most valuable player on the team. But I feel like that's a testament to who you are. And that's a reflection of your upbringing. That's a reflection of, like, your sister's dynamic with you. You know what I mean? Like, that is you to your core. You're always bringing people up by the bootstraps when they're struggling. And so here and now, like, it is unbelievably my honor to be part of this process of your life journey, to see you this happy. Because there's no one else that I know that deserves it more than you. So Bree, I know I just met you. It's kind of awkward. However, it's my fault. But listen, I have not seen this guy this happy my whole life. And the way he glows when he sees you, even on the phone, it's phenomenal. So I wish you nothing but love, success, and happiness moving forward. I told you I was going to do that. Anyway, I love you guys. And I wish you nothing but happiness. Cheers, guys.
So this was a very different experience from Best Man Speech. I had a very hard time trying to figure out your Best Man Speech. And so, you know, I asked Sid to write the speech for me, since most of us are Best Man. But realistically, there wasn't one person that could write your speech or talk about you, because you've been best man for so many different people. Sid and I have known each other since med school, where we used to bond drinking beer on the beach, hanging out, having a great time, bonding over neuroscience, and where we used to act like ballers all day long, spending our parents' money, celebrating when we had nothing to celebrate on a Tuesday night in our flip-flops, the next level. So we just had a great time there. Over the years, Sid and I became even closer. Sid and I have been there for each other for so many things, from dislocated knee to breakups to so many good things to so many bad things. He's always been loving and supportive for me. Everybody's talked about Sid's passions, his passion for basketball, his passion for friends, for life. One of the most important things in his life has always been his parents and his family. Sid's respect and love for his family, his parents, is unparalleled. And any time that I've ever heard about Sid talking about his sister, he literally is glowing. Like, you don't even understand how much he's beaming. From the time we were in the DR, where you just went, like, amazing how when she got into her PhD program. You know, when I legitimately remember when you first told me about Brie, and it was It was a very interesting story, but I knew right off the bat that she was going to be the one for you. I knew you were going to be the one for her. I mean, it was very obvious. Yes. It was very obvious the way he talked about you. It was just amazing. Then Kimmy and I got to meet you, and it made so much sense because legitimately no one that I've met has been more genuine and true other than Sid. And when we met you, we knew you were instantly family. And Samia is obvious. She obviously knows that. She was there when we first met. You just fit right in. I mean, it just seemed pretty obvious. Bree, I think you obviously know this, but you couldn't have found a better person than Sid. He's literally going to be the most loving and supportive person, and you can see that the way he's committed to his family. Sid, I don't think you could find anybody else that could put up with you better than Bree, especially at 1 a.m. in the morning when you're sprawled out on the living room floor, eating a quesadilla, determined to convince her that it's a salad. So, obviously, the most important thing in this whole entire day is family. And Bree, welcome to the family. And I want everybody to raise up their glasses. Thanks. For a toast. For family. Bree, welcome to the family. Bree and Sid.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.